Hi, hello and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Veronica and I'm a big lover of makeup, so if you want to see more reviews, looks and more fun videos, don't forget to subscribe. In today's video we are gonna rank all the palettes that I tested in 2023, so if you are curious about that, please keep on watching. So I have 13 palettes to rank and I have some quads in here as well. I have one palette that I want to mention that I tested at the very end of last year, so I decided to include it in here, and I'm gonna do the same for the next year. If I'm gonna buy something else in the next month, I will include it in the next year's ranking, but I hope I'm not gonna buy anything else because I have more than enough palettes, and I actually did film a declutter for my palette, so I'm gonna link that in the description box. So let's start from the bottom of this ranking. On the number 13 I have this one. Sadly, I don't really enjoy the Sigma formula, and I am quite happy that I tested this one out because I know right now that I'm not gonna buy any other Sigma palette. The formulas from Sigma are not for me, and that is totally fine. I could enjoy everything else from Sigma because I love a lot of products. The lip oil, the primer, the eye primer is amazing, the under eye corrector, the brushes. I have a bunch of products that I really enjoy. The eyeshadows are just not for me. This is the Sigma Jewels, and the problem that I have with this palette is that the shimmers are mediocre at most. They are basic shimmers. They are okay, but nothing, absolutely nothing special about them. Sigma maybe is in between drugstore and high-end prices, but still, this palette is pretty expensive, and I have other palette that is from the drugstore that I would recommend over this formula. And the mattes in here are okay, decently pigmented, but they are not blending very easily. You need to take your time and blend those edges, and you will still probably have some muddy edges, so this is just not for me. For example, today I used two palettes that are 3 years or 4 years old, and they are blending like a dream. I used the BH Cosmetics Lost in Los Angeles and the Kaleidos Club Nebula palette, and look at this edge. I would say that that is pretty blended, so I am pretty good at eyeshadow, at least decent. My eye looks are for sure not perfect, but this formula is just not for me. Then on the next spot we have this quad. This is very boring and really expensive for what it is. This is the Glowish quad by Huda Beauty, and you get these 3 orangey mattes and then 1 shimmer. My problem with this palette is that the shimmer is so lackluster. It doesn't have anything special about it, and these mattes are okay, but the palette doesn't have a light enough shade for me or a dark enough shade for me. I can't create a complex look with this, so it's just a meh palette, and for this price point I expected more, really. So that's the reason I'm putting this one this low. And on the next spot I actually have another palette from Huda Beauty. It is the Matte Cool Obsession. I had at some point the Mercury Retrograde from Huda Beauty, and that one was one of my favorite palettes overall. So I think I'm gonna buy the next palette that is a bigger one from the 18 pan one from Huda Beauty. Maybe that is just something better quality, but they did release right now the Pretty Grunge, and that is just not a color story for me. But this palette, you get a full matte palette. These shades are pretty nice. The formula is good. From this 9 pan, 2 of those are unusable. You get 2 cream shadows in here, and let me tell you, they smell, and these cream shadows smell nasty already. And if you have any other Huda Beauty palette, you probably already have these shades, so this is just a normal basic color story, and 2 of these shades are unusable, so this palette is just very disappointing. Then on number 10 we have a really nice palette. This is the Wet n Wild color icon in the color array Call Me Sunshine. I'm putting this one in here not because it is a bad palette, but because I can't put this formula higher than this, just because we have some amazing palettes coming next. So I'm putting it right here because it's not the best formula that I ever tried or something like that, but it is a good formula, and for sure it's beating the other 3 palettes very easily, and it is from the drugstore. So you can't really beat this price point. It's like $5 or something, and you get some really good gold shades. This matte is actually pigmented and it is building up, and it's just better than the Sigma one in my opinion, and the shimmers as well. This shimmer looks wet on your eyes, and I know that this is a pretty basic neutral palette, but it is a good one. So I want to recommend this one. It is from the drugstore, like I said, but it is the number 10 just because I like the others a lot more. Then we have this palette from NYX, and I'm putting it right here because I really don't like this plastic packaging, and because this formula is good. It's not my favorite formula, but it is a good one. So if you want something a bit more affordable, these ones from NYX are really good quality. I do have another palette that is in this format, and they are pretty good. And if I'm comparing this one with the green one, the Ultimate Utopia one, I actually like these shimmers more because they are flaky, but flaky in a good sense. The other one is just a bit too flaky. You need to apply some setting spray on your shadow or some glitter glue or even both. With this one is a bit easier to work with, so I actually prefer this formula of shimmer a bit more than the one in the Ultimate Utopia. Maybe they did update the formula a bit. This one is a festival palette, and I actually got this one for free with my points at NYX. That doesn't matter in this ranking, but I'm telling you that this is a good formula and a pretty affordable one overall. And if you can get something like this for free as well, that is a really nice thing. So I do enjoy this one. It's just not my absolute favorite formula. Next we have the mini pastel palette from Natasha Denona, and I do enjoy this palette. It is a good formula and everything. This is of course just a companion palette. I usually just reach in here for some shimmers, but this green is really pigmented, really good quality. This shimmer is just so shiny and shimmery and everything, and I do enjoy the other shimmers as well. So this palette is a really good 5 pan with some cool shimmers and with a really pigmented green. Then I have the palette that I tested last year, and this one is so good quality. This is the Viseart Petits Force in Violetta. You get 2 mattes and 2 shimmers in here, but they are different formulas, so I really appreciate that. And this palette is so small, so you get this very pigmented burgundy matte. It's incredible, and then you get this matte with some shimmers in it that is really blendable and pigmented and very stunning. Then you get a metallic black and this very shimmery and sparkly shadow that it is a duochrome with purple and blue. It's so beautiful. I really enjoy this quad. The shadows from Viseart are always a really good choice. Then I have the Pat McGrath mini voyage palette, and this is the first time I'm testing Pat McGrath, and I do enjoy this formula. It is a pretty good one. You get 2 mattes that are pigmented, easy to blend, and then you get these 4 shimmers that are not really indie quality shimmer, but they are a bit more special than normal shimmers, and I actually do enjoy this 6 pan. It is really nice. We have 5 palettes left, and they are incredible formulas. So let's start with the Beauty Bay Tropical palette. This is so pigmented and so stunning, and I love this shimmers as well. You can pick any matte and any shimmer and it will go together, and they are very easy to blend, so you can create really stunning looks with this one. I really enjoy the formula of Beauty Bay, and I am very happy that I tested the shimmers as well because they are really good. Next we have the Cosmos palette from ABH, and I really like these shimmers and the mattes. Even though they are a bit too neutral, They are really pigmented and really impressive. And the shade Galaxy from here, it is like a black with some blue and green shimmers. You can create the most beautiful smoky eye with that one. It looks incredible, and these shimmers are very impactful and very beautiful, and the mattes as well pigmented and easy to blend, so I really enjoy this palette. Then we have an older palette. It is the Verdandi one from Oden's Eye, but I am very happy that I decided to purchase this one because it is a really good color story. The Oden's Eye formula is just impeccable, and I really enjoy everything that I tasted from Oden's Eye, and this palette is just so beautiful. You get these very pigmented mattes and then these shimmers in the middle that are very impactful and glassy and shimmery, and then you get a more normal shimmer in here that is really beautiful as well. So I like the color story, and the quality is always nice, and because of that, on number 2 we have the Oud palette. Green is for sure my favorite eyeshadow right now, so I'm trying my best to not use green eyeshadow every time I'm doing my makeup, but this one is so stunning, so I need to rank it very high. It's so good quality. These two greens are just so easy to blend and so beautiful, and then you get again two of these very impactful and high shine shimmers, and then this one that is very beautiful. The green in here is just a very well curated palette with some incredible formulas. And lastly, the number 1 for this year, it is a bit of a bigger palette, which is a bit cheating, but still I just can't. This color story and this quality, Natasha Denona did something else with this Yucca palette. It's so good quality, and this color story is just right now, this I think is my favorite palette from Natasha Denona. This one, Plantasia, is just so shiny, so glittery, but not chunky. It looks so beautiful, and this Alicia Nihil is very beautiful, and you get Ray that is a more smooth shimmer, and these mattes are just so pigmented. You get some of the cream to powder formula as well in here. This Camo is very pigmented and a perfect inner corner highlight, so this palette is just a 10 out of 10. I just love it. It is so good. I like the front as well. It's just an amazing palette, so I can't recommend it enough. It's just so good quality and really incredible color story. So these are all the palettes that I tested in 2023. This year for sure I tested some amazing palettes, but some bad ones as well. I hope this video was helpful, and if you liked it and you want to see more from me, please subscribe and give it a like, and I will see you next time.